Hello and welcome to this neurographica pain release technique. My name is Tabitha MacDonald. I'm so happy to have you here. What you're going to need for this exercise is either your journal or a blank piece of paper, a Sharpie, a small Sharpie. I liked these Sharpies for writing and getting clarity. Regular pencil and then colored pencils or pens of your choice. I personally like to use colored pencils. That is the tool that I use. I also have a journal that I get from Michael's that looks like this. And I do a lot of my neurographica and journaling in this journal. And then I keep all of the art in here, along with the insights that I get after doing the neurographica exercise. So for tonight, you don't need to have one of those if you don't yet have one, but you will need at least a blank piece of paper for this exercise. This is designed for anyone who has been struggling with pain, or was in a car accident and is really struggling with the way that your body is recovering and how it is feeling after the accident. Um, what we're going to do is a neurographic release for pain specifically and to feel safe in your body again. So before we begin, let's just go ahead and take a nice deep breath in and exhale. And just allow yourself to just be here now. And first thing we want to do is understand how much pain your body is in right now. So at the top of the page, I'm going to have you rate my body on has a 4 out of 10 pain. And I'm gonna say 10 is the most pain, so that's like, oh my gosh, is this ever gonna go away? That's the highest. So like if you really are in intense pain right now, let's just go ahead and put it at a 10. This is very subjective. It does not matter what anyone else would say that your pain is. It's your pain. You're the only one who can rate it. And I think when we're recovering from pain, a lot of the time we're told to minimize our pain, to, thug it out, as my son would say, or other things that make us dismiss or invalidate our pain. Tonight, we want to completely validate it for you. So, what we're going to do next is a writing exercise. And for a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask you questions, and I just want you to write words or phrases as I walk you through this exercise. You're going to want to use a pen or a pencil and just go ahead and don't worry about getting it right. We're just gonna do this together, okay? So, how does it feel in your body? And you're just gonna start writing words. And if words want to repeat, go ahead and let them repeat as many times as they need to. How do you feel about your pain right now? And if there was an incident that generated the pain for you, if there was an accident, such as a motor vehicle accident, or you had a fall, I want you to just kind of connect in and ask your body, how does it feel about that incident? And if there's any colors associated with it. And how does your body feel right now? Or how does the pain feel in your body? And where does it hurt? If that hurt had a color, what color would it be? Does it have a texture? If that hurt had a shape, what shape would it be? If that hurt had a smell, what would that smell be? If that hurt had a location, is it inside your body or outside your body? And if it's inside your body, where is it? And is there anything else that we need to know about your pain? Don't worry about censoring it. Sorry about my dog. Okay, so you should have a sheet that has a bunch of strange words on it, and you might feel a little bit activated right now. Now, normally in my journal, I would do this on the other page, and actually, what I normally do is I fold this in half and make like a card for it. But for filming's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just do it like this so you can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, it'll be harder for you to see. So I want you to look at your sheet. And I want you to just kind of like notice, does anything stand out to you that maybe you hadn't really thought of before? And for me, the broken brain and anger is coming up for me. And that tracks because I fell on my head and twice in a month and I had a major concussion. And it really impacted the way that my brain was functioning as a whole brain, and it has caused me a tremendous amount of problems over the last 2 years as far as being able to make, use executive functioning and a whole host of other things. Um, and now I'm in the process of healing that part of my brain and also cleaning up the mess that I made because of the brain injury. So that makes sense why that feels like that for me. So now what I want you to do is we're going to go ahead and do it like this. Actually, no, we're going to do a body map. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and just kind of like start at your head. And you're going to just look, what does your body look like in your brain? And I'm just going to kind of do this big. And you should be using fluid lines. It should not be straight. It should be very fluid because this is just how your body is being represented inside of your head right now. And then you can look at it and go, okay, like that's how my brain is perceiving my body. And so now I'm going to tap into the head injury and the anger I have that I had two head injuries back to back and like the anger I feel about it. And I immediately feel pressure in my chest and I feel angry, like really angry. Nobody pushed me, nothing happened. Both were accidents, but it just the impact of the brain injury on my life was pretty significant. So I'm gonna just tap into that feeling. And what we're gonna do is something called a scribble, and it's a release. So very, very quickly, I just want to feel the feeling in my body. This is how our nervous system is communicating with us. So I'm going to feel the feeling of anger. And it's kind of like a ragey feeling, actually, to be honest. And I'm just going to scribble how it feels in my body. And it should be very quick. So it should be about 2 seconds or so, as you do it. It should not take a long time to do the scribble. Um, Now, I just want you to sit with that for just a minute without needing to fix it or change it, and just acknowledge that this is something that you've been experiencing in your body. And I can already tell my mouth is getting dry, so excuse me while I take some water. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a Sharpie and we're just gonna trace it backwards as best you can. And I just want you to acknowledge that right now, this pain is here. This incident happened, whether it was a brain injury, whether it was a motor vehicle accident, um, maybe you had a work-related injury, whatever the injury was that linked to this pain, or maybe you don't even know what caused it. And we just want to acknowledge that it's here. And for whatever reason, you're having a hard time either shifting it or your body's taking longer to recover. Maybe you don't know why. And that can be really frustrating. I've been working with pain for a long time, and I'm going to tell you it's frustrating. Especially for me who treats pain for a living, like when I come up against pain that I haven't been able to solve, it's very frustrating. And then I'm just going to kind of acknowledge that this is how my brain is perceiving my body right now. I'm going to trace over this body line. And I'm just gonna say, wow, like this is an interesting, better than the stick figure, but hmm. And so I'm just gonna breathe and I'm gonna invite you to breathe too. And if you want, we can call your higher self in to do a healing right now. And we do that simply by inviting your higher self in and asking for a healing. And we don't really need to know, what it's doing, but just by simply inviting your higher self in, your higher self will be able to direct your healing team and not really have to communicate a whole lot about what's going on for you. So I just want you to take in your picture for a second and then close your eyes and notice if you see anything in your mind. Sometimes people will get like a visual, and this is the way the unconscious mind is communicating with them. So just close your eyes and just see if you see anything. I see myself on the stairs crying after I fell, and nobody was around. To help me. I just see myself crying. So I'm just gonna let that be there right now. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start rounding out corners. And everywhere you see a sharp edge, and I like to use this type of Sharpie for rounding out. Some people like to use this fine point Sharpie. It'll be up to you as you get more into this. You'll have tools that you like. But with your marker, what we're gonna do is we're gonna find these sharp edges right here, and we're just gonna do something that rounds it out. So your pen is just gonna hook up and around. I like to say it looks kind of like a C. And it's not a big thing. It's just everywhere where this meets, we're basically going to round out any sharp edges. And as we do, I just want you to breathe and acknowledge that this pain has been here for a little while or a long time, who knows? And you might feel your body shifting. You might be uncomfortable. Like if this is your first time really sitting with your pain, you might have an urge to get up and leave. I'm going to invite you to stay through to the end of the process, because oftentimes we don't sit with our pain to really talk to it. We just want it to go away. And the truth is when we take time to just sit with it, a lot of the times it will shift. So We're just going to be present with the pain right now and not need it to move, not needed to do anything. And just breathe while you're rounding these sharp edges out. And imagine you're softening every place where the lines feel tense or aggressive. And just breathe while you're doing this. And just notice, are there any other emotions coming up for you? Any sounds, any images, any voices, or um, other types of pain in your body? Are you noticing your body communicating with you less or more? And we're just going to continue to put awareness here. To round properly, imagine that you're really just softening every place where the lines feel tense and aggressive. Instead of leaving a point or jagged corner, draw a curved line over it so it becomes more like a soft bend or bubble. And I think I got most of them here. And so just breathe and look over your paper and just notice where they need to be softened. This is a powerful nervous system reset. There is another way. We're just telling the nervous system that there's another way. There is softness, there is safety, and there is room for change. There is room for a solution. Take your time. And as you round, imagine that you're helping your body release shock or tension and resistance. And every rounded corner is a message of safety. Every softened edge is a signal that your system no longer has to brace the same way. Now look for any lines in the scribble that feel unfinished, trapped, or like they want to keep moving. So, for instance, this line here, we're just going to pull it out. And when we do a new line, we're just going to let the energy pull itself to completion. Please don't try to control the line. Let it go where it wants to go. And there's a bunch of tutorials on how to do neurographic lines, but basically we're just allowing the line to complete itself. And wherever there's a new intersection, we're just going to go ahead and round that out before moving on. And just breathing into the possibility of a solution, the possibility that you can feel safe in your body. Long periods of pain, I've been working with pain for a long time, they make you feel very unsafe in your body. And this process really helps you reconnect to your body and to create this sense of safety within it. I'm going to go ahead and pull some more of these lines out. And I'm just going to let the line follow how it wants to go. Just remember, don't rush. Just allow it to go the way that it wants to go and just keep connecting in and with your breath. Breath is really important for managing the nervous system. So please just don't hold your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And just breathe in and breathe out. And just know that right now the solution doesn't necessarily have to be here. It just needs to be witnessed. And you might have been trying to solve this pain for a long time, and maybe you're new to pain. Maybe you've never had pain before, so it's quite shocking to you. And that's also okay. Because there's a lot of pain science, but then there's a lot of the emotional side of pain, and some that side of pain, it doesn't make logical sense. And if you're a very like logical person and you're trying to make logical sense out of something that doesn't make logical sense, it can be very frustrating for you, especially if you've been looking for answers for a long time. So we can just acknowledge that and Acknowledge that if it was an accident, accidents happen. And, sometimes our brain stays in an open loop because it wants to know why that thing happened, or it wants to know who caused it or how we can prevent it next time. And this is totally natural and normal, but unfortunately, it can leave a lot of anxiety in the body, which actually creates more pain. So, also okay, but we just want to acknowledge that that can also happen, especially I see this when someone was hit, in a car accident and they didn't cause it, and their brain wants like retribution, or, it wants, why did this happen? How do I make it not happen again? I think that's probably one of the most common questions I get in the clinic is, how do I make sure this never happens again? And the truth is, sometimes accidents just happen. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that there was any karma or anything like that. It just means that accidents happen. And, so we're just going to go ahead and pull these lines out as they want to go, and just keep focusing on your breath and acknowledging anything that might be coming up for you. And we don't need to process it, understand it, or even like talk about it. I mean, unless that's the way that you process, but I just want to invite you to allow your higher self to just heal this for you so that you can just feel better. Because there is an infinite intelligence that is you that already has a solution. But sometimes pain is so loud and so noisy. We can't hear the solution, or we get really impatient with it because we just want our life back. And as someone who has both struggled with, intense chronic pain in the past and also works in the industry, I will say it is a frustrating, frustrating is probably the lightest word I could have said, but it is a very heartbreaking experience, especially when it's impacting your work or your quality of life, your relationships. And so we're just going to go ahead and round this out. I'll just tell you a little story while we're going here. But when I had this particular fall that just came up for me, which I didn't even know was still bothering me, um, I was living alone, and I had all of these symptoms that I did not know that I had. Like, I was emotionally dysregulated. I started doing impulsive things like shopping and spending money that I didn't have and forgetting to pay the bills. And just like I just was on a crash course, and I thought it was just me like having this kind of like midlife breakdown or something. And one day I had this client come in, and she was an emergency room nurse, and now I studied head injuries, so I'm going to just preface that. And she was in a concussion, and she was referred over to me for post-concussion care. And as we were sitting there talking, I said, okay, well, since you're a single mom and you live alone, here's all of the things I need you to have your son look out for, that you might, since you don't have a spouse at home to warn you about or to keep an eye on, irrational behavior or mood swings, things like that. And I gave her the list, and as I was going through it, I literally smacked my head and I said, "Oh my God, I have been struggling with these symptoms for like 8 months now, but I had no idea that it was linked to these two falls that I had because I had dismissed them as unimportant." And especially with brain injuries, they kind of sneak up on you without you noticing. And the shifts are so subtle that you have to have someone really that you trust that can be like, no, your behavior is a little bit wackadoodle, because you won't know. It's so real to you. You really don't know. You just think something's inherently wrong with you. And I would say that was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever been through, and I've been through a lot of bad ones. But so now we're just going to keep pulling these lines out. And when we think about those neural lines, as you've seen me drawing them, they're not stiff or ruler straight. It's alive. It moves like a neural pathway, and it gently changes directions as it travels across the page like a branch, a river, a nerve pathway. Because what we're working with is neuroplasticity. We're creating new nerve pathways because the brain is amazing at creating new experiences for you when it's given the new instructions. And I think neurographica is just this wonderful way of utilizing neuroscience basically and neuroplasticity to help work through and reduce pain. So one of my favorite tools, like I said before, especially just to calm down the nervous system and create a new experience of your body. Um, so to draw a neural line properly, you're going to begin somewhere in your scribble, usually on one of these jagged points, and you're going to pull it out to the edge of the paper. It's really important that it completes to the end of the paper so that we don't have any kind of like open lines that don't have a completion here. Now, I'm not a certified neurographica teacher. I just do this enough that I wanted to share some of the processes that I've come up with. There's channels by certified neurographic teachers. This is just I don't even call this neurographica when I do it. I just say this is my way of doing neural art and connecting with my body because I think neurographica is probably trademarked somewhere. So, but this is just how I do it, and I'll leave it up to you to go find more about it if you're interested, or I'm going to be posting a lot more videos because when we're dealing with pain, it's not logical because pain, and especially pain that was caused by a trauma, it doesn't necessarily follow a pattern that makes sense to the logical brain because of the way that memories are stored in our field of awareness. So, I just want to say that, like, and I think that's the thing that is hardest for people is because they're trying to use their rational mind to understand pain. And if you've had pain for a while, especially if it's been over 3 months, it creates like a whole different network in your brain that actually increases pain. Because it's like almost like the pain I forget, sorry, the pain creator in the brain. Sorry, for some reason, the science is skipping my brain for a second. But I have another video with the science in there. But it basically is like creating its own addictive loop to itself. And so the whole pain system gets completely dysregulated, and we need to find ways and strategies to create a sense of safety and relaxation within the body and the nervous system. Breath work is a great way of doing that. I also really like to do this one. And I just want you to remember that we're moving energy in the body. So I need you to be hydrating and doing some breath work and release work. If you feel like crying, know that that's totally normal. When I first started doing this, I cried a lot. And it was so cathartic when I was working through some pretty big consequences of the head injury, and it was just pretty much the bad decisions that I made because of the head injury, and then having to clean it up and feeling frustrated that I had to clean up this mess that I created when my brain wasn't working correctly. So there was a lot of I don't want to call it victim consciousness, but like, kind of like, oh, like, why should I have to clean this up? And it was like, well, because you had a head injury. Like anyone who has a head injury would have to clean it up. Like, I mean, it's just accidents are accidents. There's no rhyme or reason to them, and sometimes they just happen. And it was really frustrating, and it still is. I mean, I'm still cleaning up some of the the problems that were created from it. And And it can be a little overwhelming. So I actually start my day like this. Like this is how I start my day is doing neurographica and setting my intentions. And I'll post more videos about that. But um, I want you to just notice, does this pain that you were experiencing before, does it feel trapped? Um, because we can untrap it now. Like it doesn't have to be trapped inside of your body anymore. And your body is capable of finding new pathways. It's possible to move around the pain and to create a new experience in your body. So I just want you to breathe into possibility. And what would be like a possibility for you if this pain wasn't so intrusive at the moment? If it wasn't like blocking you from living. Like I know the last couple of weeks I haven't been able to get to Orange Theory and I really like Orange Theory. But the pain has been, I've been afraid of the injuries. And I kind of stopped going, which is funny because then my pain got worse. Funny how pain feeds itself. Okay, so then I just want you to close your eyes again and remember that picture that we wrote down before we got started. I want you to just close your eyes and just notice, does it look different now or does it look the same? Oh, I see something really beautiful. I see an angel putting out their hand to help me off the stairs. Oh, it's gonna make me cry. And give me a hug. A much needed hug. Wow, that was a beautiful new visual. Okay. So now I want you to think about your body has the ability to heal itself faster than maybe you currently believe. And you don't have to totally believe that yet. But I want you to just connect in with the fact that you have a healing system within your body that might be currently being suppressed by the pain, partly because of the chemicals that pain creates in the body, the stress, the hopelessness. But there's a whole nother network of tools that your body has access to heal itself faster. Now, what we're going to do is just draw a big circle. If you like, just kind of put your hand over the page and hover over it and go, where is my body's helper cells or my inner healer? And I just see this like big circle right here. And I'm gonna just take this Sharpie here and I'm gonna just kind of do like a neural line and connect in with the part of my body that is really good at healing, is really good at repairing itself, and that already knows how to restore optimal health. So I'm just gonna like keep doing this little line around this circle around the part of me that already knows how to intuitively heal my body. I kind of look at it like this network of internal helpers that know how to speed up the body's healing process or maybe can create a synchronicity, guiding you towards the right healer, the right repair technician. Maybe it's a massage therapist or an acupuncturist, maybe somebody you hadn't yet thought of. And as you do that, we're going to go ahead and pull this new energy through the pain and invite our healing team in to help activate our body's ability to heal itself. And we're just going to go ahead and round out these new neurons and just keep breathing in And you might see like I saw like a little guardian angel that like put their hand out and was like, "Let me help you and give you a hug." You might see maybe like a team of cells dressed up like little doctors. Allow your imagination to come in here and just allow your sense of play and curiosity to take over for a minute. And what would it feel like if you had this kind of like secret team of healers inside of you that already knew how to repair this faster? And they were just waiting for you to activate them and call them back to work. They're like on holiday down there. They didn't know you needed them. So we're just going to go ahead and remember those rounding out. We're just going to round in this new line. Anywhere where there's a new sharp edge, we always got to go back and round it out. Anywhere where this circle meets the old energy, we're just going to go ahead and round that out. Anywhere there's a sharp edge. So just put your focus fully on that and on your breath. And I'm just going to be quiet for a few minutes while we do that. And just remember that healing is already built into your body. Your body has wisdom, your body has intelligence, your body has been trying to protect you. And just breathe that in. And just feel the love that's available to you right now. And just pay attention to any physical sensations or shifts. Oh, I see much more. Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and put some of these in here. And don't worry about getting it right or perfect. You'll see a lot of neurographic videos that are like, oh, if you don't do it like this, it's not working. If you feel better, it's working. Um, and there's a lot of different art techniques to help process through pain. So just be okay. And I mean, I think I tend to follow most of the rules around like, don't walk away from it. And then, how to do the neural lines so that they're not perfect and, they're kind of messy. It should look messy and chaotic. It should not look pretty. So, um, what I want to do now is create a sense of safety. So now we've activated our inner intuitive healer, and now I want to create a sense of safety. And most of the time, for me, when I need a feeling of felt safety, I like to draw a box. So I'm just going to kind of ask the energy, where does the box need to be? And it needs to be down here. So I'm going to do like a big box around this area. Oops, there we go. And as I need a new pen, actually, that one's not working very well. The what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna say like what would make me feel really safe right now? Because with my experience of pain, it's that there's this lack of safety. Like we lose trust with our body. And if you've had a fall or if you were in an accident or you were hit, even I've had people who were hit while they were walking in a car on a crosswalk by a drunk driver, and it was like in the morning, so it was like, oh my God, why am I being hit in the morning by a drunk driver? Like, especially things that you would never have anticipated happening. Those kind of events can really impact your mental health and your feeling of safety in the world. So we want to just, and I know this head injury really impacted my feeling of safety in the world. And I have been, I was very scared that I would never get my executive functioning back and that I would never be able to process numbers again. And those are kind of necessary for running a business. And it has been a really scary experience. I kept telling my friend, I was like, my biggest fear is like that I'm going to fall again and I'm going to die and my cat's going to eat me. Fear is not rational. So, it is what it is. Although I will say, I don't know what it is about the 70s, but I've had at least three friends from who were born in the 70s that also had irrational fear of dying on a toilet. So, Um, now what I want to do is I'm just going to connect to that feeling of safety in my body. And I'm just going to just connect in with all the times that I have felt safe in my body or that my body is healed and just it knows what to do. And I'm just going to pull that energy all the way up. And I want you to just connect in with that feeling of safety. And of strength. When have you, had a challenging time and you've recovered and you found like a deep resiliency or strength within you? Or where maybe you had a stranger come and help you in an unexpected way, like it was just a miracle. Just connect in with that feeling. Like for me, I'm so grateful that that lady booked an appointment with me. I don't think I would have known that I had the head injury at the level I did if she hadn't, because I wasn't correlating the two. And I'm so grateful that Daniel in my office was studying cranial sacral and he started helping me get my cranium back, got my head back together for me. And I'm so grateful for his love and care because it was kind of a big deal for me. I was really scared. And he made me feel unbelievably safe. I love that man. He saved my life. Like In fact, when I hit my head a third time, I went straight to him and I started crying and I said, "Don't let me lose myself again, Daniel. I'm so scared." And he just gave me a big hug and he said, "Don't worry, I'll make sure." I'm like, "If I make any stupid decisions, you have to call me out." Like, I won't know. So, it was really, it was such a blessing. And I just want you to think, like, what else is true for you right now? The event is over, whatever caused the pain. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you don't know what's causing it. And we'll just leave that as an open-ended question. But your body doesn't have to stay in alarm anymore. And what else is true for you right now? What's true is I am breathing. So let's just connect it into your breath. I am breathing. That's true. What else is true for you right now? I am supported. Whatever something that you're sitting on right now makes you feel supported. Maybe you're on a comfy bed or you're on a couch, or maybe there's like really pretty lighting around you, or just notice like what around you makes you feel supported. And if you can't connect in with anything, just kind of ask, like, what would it take for me to feel supported right now in this moment? Just in this moment. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I don't have to worry about the next day, but right now, what would it take for me to feel supported? And anything in the way of that, delete, uncreate, and destroy across all time, dimension, space, and realities. What would it take for me to release anything that makes me see myself as alone, isolated, or unsafe? And you can just say out loud or to yourself anything that's in the way of me feeling safe in my body. I now uncreate, delete, and destroy across all time, dimension, space, and realities. And then just breathe in. And just remember that you're the boss. This is your story. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that. But today, you're the boss, and this is your story. We're just going to connect in and breathe in, just calling all your personal power back to you, all your energy, clearing any cords and attachments that might be draining your energy, that might be keeping you stuck in fear, anger, or resentment, grief. Just breathe in and call your power home to you right now in this moment in time. And just breathe in. I am here. I am not only a survivor, but I thrive. And just breathe that in. I am capable of healing. I am capable of restoring health to my body. I am listening to my body now. There are parts of my body that don't hurt. And connect in with those parts and have those parts of your body just expand out and teach the other parts how to let go of the hurt, how to find solutions, how to just let go of the hurt. And just breathe in and know that you're totally safe and you're loved. And just breathe out the fear. What does feel good in your body? What feels neutral about your body? What feels soft, supported, calm, and relaxed right now? Is it your hands or your feet? Maybe it's your jaw, and you can just allow it to soften now if you choose. You can just say, choose to soften this now. And just breathe it in and breathe into your belly and hold your breath. And exhale. And just say, what would it take to just soften everything now? What would it take to just soften all of it? And just breathe in and breathe out. Just connect into the breath, your breath. And just say, as long as I have air in my lungs, I choose to find a solution. I choose to let my body lead the way. I choose to release any unprocessed emotions or fear patterns, any stress or chaos that's keeping me trapped in this pain. I just choose it for myself now. I choose to create a reality where I feel really good in my body. And I'll do whatever it takes to do that. And just breathe in and breathe out. And sometimes, like empaths and healers, we take on other people's pain. So just like connect in, like what part of this pain isn't even yours? Maybe it's someone else's. Where is their pain? Right here. So we're just going to clear that energy now and command that it leave. And return it to sender with consciousness attached. When we take other people's pain, it doesn't actually get rid of their pain. Now we both have it. But sometimes healers or empaths, we accidentally take other people's pain on because of our mirror neurons and our intense empathy. And we don't realize that it's not our pain. So just clear that, just send it up to consciousness to be healed and transmuted. No longer yours to carry other people's pain. It's not necessary. Probably didn't even know you were doing it. Sometimes I do it and I clear it every day, and sometimes I still do it. Just connect in with your body and just breathe in. And just how can you love your body today? For all it's experienced or endured, what would it take to just love this beautiful body of yours? Pain is not the whole story. Your body also contains comfort. What color can you connect with that is comfort? That represents comfort for me. That's blue. This might be kind of purple, but technically I think this is blue. So I'm just gonna look in here and say, like, where does my body need comfort right now or nurture? And when we're coloring, we want at least two segments to be colored the same color. And I'll say with like pain, we don't want to make it too complicated with too many colors because we kind of just want to make it easy, simple, elegant. But I'll let you, use your own intuition when you're coloring. And what would it take to just kind of like bring comfort to this area right now? You use what color feels right to you. For me, blue is like just the most comforting color. Yours might be green or purple. And I'm just going to bring in this like healing energy, this blue healing energy, and just bring in comfort. And what pain is ready to be shifted? What part of me is ready for relief? What part is ready to move toward healing? And what would it take to just bring that in now? And sometimes I like to just kind of go over it with a second color just because I like the way it looks. But that's not necessary. You'll find a rhythm that you enjoy working with over time. And right now I just want you to relax and feel a sense of comfort right now. And then to me, purple is the ultimate like healing color. I think it represents healing. Like amethyst is a great healing stone. You could put it out around your bed. My favorite is rose quartz because I think love is the energy of healing. And so I love having a lot of rose quartz around me. You can use some essential oils like lavender, which is deeply calming. Ylang ylang, which actually helps install a deep sense of euphoria in your body. And then, I would probably mix it with a little bit of neroli, which is an anti-anxiety oil. And then for that particular blend, I also like to throw in a little sandalwood, which is great for grounding, and a little bit of orange oil just to kind of bring up the positive energy and bring in some joy and possibility. That would be my aromatherapy blend for anxiety. When I gave it to my daughter, her friends all stole it on the first day of high school because I was that mom who was like, um, if you have anxiety, I'm giving you a neroli, a neroli roll that I made myself in the bathroom. And she's like, "Oh, why do you have to be so weird?" Like, um, and so yeah, that was like that's what it's like growing up with a mom who's a healer, where it's like, "Oh, you're fine. Let me just throw some Epsom salts in a bath and you'll be fine." Anyways, so let's just go ahead. And so for me, I'm just going to connect in with that inner healer that just wants to come in and help my body heal. And like I said, you could put out some amethyst on your nightstand or just carry it around with you as like a reminder that you set the intention to just let this pain go. Um, You can also, for the Epsom salt bath blend, I typically find using essential oils in the bath works best when you put it in like vodka, and no, don't take a shot of it, but like the vodka helps it get absorbed into the water more easily. If you put essential oils directly in the water, it just kind of stays on the top. So you get more bang for your buck when you put them in a solvent. Full fat milk or vodka works like that. And I don't have this on a platform, which is why it's kind of weird. But so I'm just gonna bring in that healing energy, which feels really good. And I'm just thinking about creating a sense of safety for myself and my body. I'm creating healing and recovery, a path to recovery. When I think about safety, I usually think about orange, and I think that has to do with the sacral chakra. I also think that that has to do with the orange safety vests that we see. So I'm gonna find my orange pencil over here, um, and bring in some safety. And some stability because I was also having some low back pain, and that has a lot to do with the sacral chakra. So we're gonna bring in some orange. But connect in with what's right for you and what colors are speaking to you. So I'm just gonna connect in with this feeling of creating safety here in this box here. Oh, that feels better if my body just feels safe. And actually, it does feel a lot better because I really didn't think that that event was bothering me still. I didn't realize that I was still carrying that stress in my body. So this is just helping me connect in with probably the last part of that injury that's been hanging around, creating some havoc. I have some brain healing neurographica techniques that I've been developing to help restore the function between the left and the right brain, basically being able to connect the part of your intuitive brain with your logical brain so that the two can work together instead of against each other. It's been really helpful because Brain injuries are a pain in the butt, man. That's like saying it lightly. If you've had one, man, it's tough. The losing of yourself and your identity is probably the hardest, and just in not knowing how to get out of it. And not even knowing you're in it. Like that, I think that was the worst part. Just not even knowing I was in it or that it was impacting my decision making, my emotional state. Like, I now I look back and I'm like, why did you do that thing? And I was like, oh, remember you whacked your head on the stairs and you flew off a treadmill. Like your brain took a hit, my friend. So even like, working in this industry and you can have one and not even know it. And that's the scary part, I think, to be honest. And I think like after car accidents, if your head was jarred or if any part of your cranium shifted due to the impact, like it was hitting the back of the seat, your brain might be impacted. So you want to pay attention to your behavior and say, oh, is this how I would normally behave? And have someone you trust in your life have a chat with you. Like my daughter the other night, she's grown now and she called and I said, I'm really thinking about these decisions I made and undoing them. And she goes, Mom, I've been wanting to talk to you about that for a long time, and I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I was like, sweetheart, I had a brain injury. You are welcome to hurt my feelings. Like, I love you so much. So, anyways, I'm gonna bring this um safety into the pain because I want to just feel safe. Like even if the pain is there, I still want to feel safe in my body. Like I don't want to feel like I have to escape my body every time there's pain. Like I want to know that my safety is not going to be impacted by whether or not I have pain. And I think that's like important for anyone who's dealing with pain, that you can experience pain and still create safety in your body at the same time. You don't have to wait for the pain to go away in order for you to get that sense of safety back. You can feel safe in your body and continue to build new safety features within yourself. Um, I will say hydration should be a priority. A lot of my pain clients come in and they're completely dehydrated. I do have um, a programming technique to help you want to drink more water. I can send, I'll put a link down below in the show notes so that you have access to that. Because sometimes we we're really dehydrated and that's what's causing the pain, and we don't know that we're dehydrated because we're peeing clear, but really we're not taking in any of the water that we've been drinking. So, I have a whole nother episode on that. I'm not gonna talk about that a whole lot tonight. But I just want you to know that I'll put the link down below if you would like that. I also have some rehydration recipes that you can have access to. And that is available for free on my website. So I will put the link directly to that down below. I'm a big advocate for rehydrating, especially after trauma. And if you've been in pain for a while, that's kind of a trauma. And so, it depends on how your body is registering it, but it can create a lot of trauma-like responses in the brain and in the body. So we don't want to dismiss pain that's been around for a while. Uh, a lot of the time people come in and they're like, oh, I'm just getting old and like my body's falling apart. If they haven't had a specific injury, or if the injury was something which they would deem silly, like opening the shower curtain and their whole back went out. And I'm like, no, 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 you're not old. It's just that your body is angry and it's communicating in a way that maybe you don't like. So, so now I just want you to think about other feelings that you would like to feel in your body. I want to feel rested, nurtured. I want to trust my body. I want to feel strong. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel ease and resiliency. Like I want to move with ease. I have a vision of like, as I get older, I see myself moving with ease and grace. I've seen a lot of people over the years who come in and, they kind of left the taking care of their body to the last minute, and then there's some irreparable damage. And so, some of those things that would have been easy to treat earlier now become a little bit more complicated to treat. Not that there isn't usually a solution, but some postural distortions become permanent, like that hump in the back and um, just some like damage done to the discs, or other things. So I really say like don't ignore pain. It's a messenger. And, we want to be able to sit with it. A lot of us get very afraid of our pain simply because we don't know the solution. And if you've ever had chronic pain and went to the doctor and tried to find answers and you've gotten the runaround, you are not alone. My clients, when they come in like that, I'm like, all right, sit down. This is going to be a little bit of a journey because now we have to treat your medical trauma and we have to treat the pain. And now we have a dysregulated nervous system. And so, we're going to have to find the path forward for you. And it's going to be unique based on your experience because, don't ever let someone talk you out of what your experience is. I started getting into working with narcissistic abuse recovery because I noticed that the survivors of narcissistic abuse had really weird pain. Like, and I mean weird, like it was unresolvable. Or they had a lot of autoimmune disorders, migraines, jaw pain, things that I had studied the structure of. And it was just really interesting and I would always say, like, did you have a high control or narcissistic mother? And it was almost always yes. Or it was there a very like aggressive, angry, or alcoholic father or no father? And it's almost always yes. So the nervous system had to adapt under like really high stress situations. And it created some really interesting and unique pain patterns. And they felt very frustrated because they would go around, the medical system trying to get answers and not really being able to do that. So I'm just bringing in a lot of love into this picture right now. That's the green. And also nurture. To me, green is the energy of nurture, of returning to nature, of the heart chakra. So to me, when we really connect in with the feeling of love, it produces more oxytocin. Oxytocin is a natural healing chemical that our body can produce. It also helps reduce pain. Feelings like gratitude produce more dopamine, also natural pain relievers. So just think about some things maybe right now that you're grateful for in your life and put your focus there for a minute. I want you to think about maybe like today we had a sunny day and my son and I went out to the nursery and looked at flowers. He's taking up gardening. I love that about him. I just love, and we went and had lunch outside in our old town where we used to live. And um, I was just like sitting in the sun and we were eating burritos and it was so nice. And it was just so nice to be there with him. He's about to graduate from high school. So any days that I get with him are just a blessing. And I also was super grateful that I got to like get on here and make this video for my YouTube channel tonight. I have had a hard time creating content. Um, and I did a process the other day to help get over, the fear of being online. And I started, thinking about easy tools that I could teach people that maybe they didn't know about to help work through pain. And it was like, oh, well, I'll just teach them how to use neurographica to like rewire the brain around pain and how to work through it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting more of the tools that I love that I use with my clients. Because I'm a massage therapist. I'm also a coach. Like I integrate coaching and massage because, sometimes it's the mental emotional pain, sometimes it's just physical structural pain. And I love having the tools and the training to do both. And it means a lot to me that I get to have these beautiful relationships with my clients and walk them on these like deep healing journeys. And I think that it's an honor to get to do that with people. And I will say, like, some of my favorite clients have been working with car accidents just because of the unique pain that they experience after a motor vehicle accident. And having experienced that myself and had, over a decade of working with people who've experienced car accidents, it's a different journey of healing. Like it's a very different journey. The pain is not the same and the recovery is not the same. It's a unique journey. And I'll do a separate video specifically around automobile accidents, but tonight I just really wanted to cover general pain and one tool for helping work through it. So by now, we're just going to go ahead and check in on your pain scale and see how you're feeling. So let's go ahead and connect in. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And my body has a pains I don't really feel much pain, I would say. Maybe a 2. So pain at 2. I just feel incredibly calm, peaceful. And does my body have a message? Yeah, I'm dehydrated. Speaking of, I need to hydrate and eat more vegetables. And yeah, I'm just hearing find peace within is kind of what I'm hearing. Okay. I'm gonna check in on that picture that I had. Oh, it's funny, I'm seeing a picture of me dancing now. I have been thinking about taking a dancing class, and smiling. And I think that's like what my intuition is saying is I need to have more joy in my body and to move it with more joy. And I do think that dancing is something that's really fun. And it's always something I said I wasn't good at, but I do like taking dancing classes. Like there's a studio. So I think that's my body saying, hey, let's go have some fun and learn other ways of expressing joy in your body. So I'm going to be putting that on the list of things that my body wants to do and I want to do. So I'm just going to throw in some more color here. And then the last piece of this, once you've got it all colored in, and if you're still with me, thank you. Um, uh, I just like adding in some like shading because I like the way it looks. Okay, so I'm not gonna keep doing that, but I want you to just notice your drawing. Does it feel complete? And Um, if you want, like you can draw more circles on here. I have some that have a lot of circles. Um, and I have some that have more triangles when I need to take action and I'm procrastinating. But I just want you to think about how you feel. How do your emotions feel? Do they feel softer now or gentle? Or do they still feel really charged? And what is your body telling you that it needs? What does it really need? What do you need? And just take a breath and maybe place your hand over your heart and thank your body for communicating with you and just send it some love. Relief can happen in layers and healing happens in layers. And today we created some space and time for ourselves to connect deeply in with our bodies and to listen. And I just want you to honor that because not everybody does that. They don't take the time to do that. And the fact that you did that today is to be celebrated and also to be acknowledged. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to call in some divine assistance and whatever that looks like for you. This is non-denominational. I told you to connect in with or asked you, invited you in to connect in with your higher self earlier. Um, but we can just ask source, creator of all that is, anything love or above, any healing guides that you like to work with. We're just going to pull their energy through this and ask them to help us come up with a solution. that maybe we haven't thought of, and we can ask that solution come through your dreams tonight. So, maybe keep a dream journal and see if you have a dream, you might see a synchronicity where you have a person's mind, like their picture flash in to your mind, and it might be that you need to call them. So you're going to pull in these three lines of from the universe, and that's going to be whatever. If you're, if you believe in God, you can say God. If you believe in Jesus, you can say, call into Jesus. Whatever it is to you, this is non-denominational. So I respect all paths of faith. I usually say creator of all that is. I work with archangels a lot and some other healing guides. So you can call in Archangel Michael. Um, if I really love working with Mother Mary's energy a lot because it's just very nurturing and caring. And so, just call in energy. You don't even have to know who it is. You can just say, call in angels of love and light to help me heal this thing and surrender it. And I want you to now just think about what it would feel like if this pain wasn't in the way anymore. What would that feel like? What would you be doing? Obviously, I would be dancing, apparently. But what I want you to do is just think about what a healthy, pain-free body feels like. Connect in with that and make the emotion really intense. I have some other videos and meditations to connect in with a healthy body. I recommend that you go watch those, and I'll put a link down below so that you can go check out how to use the superconscious recode and how to really connect in with your body and create a vision for it. Like a lot of us, I mean, I've lost over 115 pounds. I used to weigh well over 300 pounds. I had ulcerative proctitis, which is a horrible gut condition. I had plantar fasciitis in both feet. My back used to go out every week. I was in so much pain all of the time. I could barely move. And, the more pain I was in, the more junk food I would eat because I absolutely could not tolerate being in my body. And it had a lot to do with unprocessed trauma and things like that I'm not going to go into right now. But that was horrible. And so now when I have pain, it's not as scary for me because I know that I have healed some pretty huge health conditions and that I was told would never heal. And in my membership, I do a lot. We do a lot of health clearings in there. If you want to give it a try, I have a $1 membership trial offer. After that, it's currently at the time of this video, $44 a month. And that's including like live calls. We do a lot of stuff like this, consciousness education, how to use your intuition to heal yourself and your life, higher self-alignment, things like that. So I'll put a link down below if you're interested. You can check it out for $1. And then also get, live intuitive feedback and guidance from those live calls. So let's see what else. So yeah, we're going to tie this in asking for guidance, support from our angels and guides, whoever you're connecting in with, and that the right treatment be made obvious to you. And also that, you continue healing in your dreams, and that the right answer or solution is presented to you so that you know how to move forward with this. And it might be that you need to buy the Pain Free book by Pete Egosky. I'll put a link down below because maybe you have some postural stuff happening. Or, maybe you need to come in for a massage, and I'll put a booking link below as well, especially if you were in an auto accident. If you're in Oregon, we offer full holistic care for auto accident recovery, and we actually have a great team. We have a great lawyer that we work with, and an acupuncturist and a chiropractor. And we all partner together to make sure that you get the most integrated care possible and that you're well taken care of. and supported on your healing journey, and that, you're actually getting the things that you need to rehab for life instead of, being, walking away and having to deal with chronic pain. So, we have a whole suite of mind body tools and other things to help heal from pain, injuries, and to get full rehab. Like, I'm really a big believer in blending science and intuition, because without, science, it's hard to know where to direct intuition. So I feel like they work hand in hand. Science is, I mean, intuition in my mind is the application of knowledge in a way where you're intuitively listening to that person's body and saying, okay, well, what does the body need? And then using, science training, education, and the tools of neuromuscular therapy and other treatment protocols that we've all learned um, to help restore balance and ease and flow into the body. So, if that's something that you're interested in, I will put booking links below, and we'd love to have you in the clinic. You can book directly online. You can also reach out by calling us. And, we don't have a front desk, so we don't have someone answering the phones, but just go ahead and keep pulling these lines in. Please, if you enjoyed this video today, as a reminder, my name is Tabitha MacDonald, and I would love for you to share it with somebody who might be working through some pain, and is really struggling to deal with it and to find a solution for themselves. And please leave a comment below. What did you think? Do you like this video? Would you like more content? Let me know how you felt after this session. Did you feel less pain? And if you felt more pain, that's interesting. It might be that you put awareness to it. So most people won't feel more pain, but some people have after a healing session. If I if it has, check in with yourself, use your discernment. This is never to replace the advice or care of your medical doctor. This is all stuff to complement it and to assist in the healing process. I know that, sometimes people think that, alternative therapies and traditional therapies are battling one another. I actually think they're meant to coexist and to use logic and intuition. It's both that help you get results faster. So, please leave a comment. Let me know if this helped. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and be notified for more content to be coming out. Hopefully, there was no ads on this video. My intention is to have an ad-free channel for you. And that's a wrap, my friends. Thank you so much for dedicating this time to your journey, to your healing journey, to your body. I promise you, your body enjoyed this. And let me know how it goes. Please hydrate after this. Oh, I forgot all of these. Make sure that you hydrate. Um, when we do energy work or we're working with the nervous system, you definitely need more water afterwards. So keep that in mind. And then, you might not feel a shift tonight, but notice how you feel tomorrow. Sometimes when we're working with the nervous system, you might have forgotten that you even had pain today. So I often have that with my clients. I'll say like, "Oh, well, how's your low back this week?" And they'll come in and they'll be like, "My low back doesn't hurt at all. I don't know what you're talking about." And I say, "Oh, how quickly we forget." Because last week it was so bad you could barely walk. And they go, "Oh my gosh, how did I forget about that? My neck hurts." And I just say it's just the way pain is. It shifts and it moves. And that's my job to track it. And I'm glad that it wasn't on your list today. And also, that's a good sign. So I hope you have a really, really great evening, day, or whatever it is for you. And thanks again for joining me tonight. And I will see you in the future.